Hello everyone, my name is Cheryl and today's project is going to be a very exciting one. It's metal embossing. Now this is the more simplified form of metal embossing, but it's quite amazing what you can actually do with this. Basically what you would use is an aluminum foil, a nice thick heavy duty aluminum foil, or you could get a nice thick copper and aluminum transfer foil like this at any of your hobby stores. So let me explain what you would need for this project. You'll need either a match, a pencil, a blunt pencil, or the back end of a paintbrush. There are special tools for embossing, but if you don't have any of those, this is what I'm going to be showing you. Also some tacky glue, a bottle which has an edge to it like that if the pencil doesn't work, and some paint, either black or bronze paint. Alright, so let's get started. So there are two ways of doing embossing. The easy way is you can get these lovely little cards that you can use, and they are reverse sided, so it's raised on one side and an indent on the other side. Or you can just use a picture and you can use the picture to actually itemize your embossing. So this is what I'm going to show you second. That's the easier way to do, but I'm going to use this particular sheet just to show you how it works. And you'll notice that I've done quite a few here. I have one with a dog. This is a raised one and a indented one. I have one with an elephant, also indented, and metal on the other side, or a raised one with metal on the one side and copper foil on the other side. And you'll notice that I did a special paint technique on that, which I'll show you how to do it as well. There's another one of a clown with a metal, all with a copper, which has been also specially prepared with the paints, and exactly the same without the prepared paint. So that's what you can do, and I'll show you what once you've done the project, what you can actually do with them. It turns out rather beautiful. Alright, so let's get our piece of copper foil or aluminum foil, whatever you would prefer. You will need a pair of scissors for this because it is quite sharp and it will cut your fingers. With aluminum foil it should be fine, but with this particular foil it is much thicker and it's quite sharp. So I'm going to do the ingress side first. What you want to do is just measure roughly the size of your little square. Make sure it's nice and smooth and that you've got it nicely attached to your card so that it doesn't slip around. And then turn it down. Get your end of your paintbrush and all you do is start rubbing. And you'll notice it's slowly starting to take on the picture form. Just keep on going until you have your whole picture nicely laid out, and then I'll show you how to take it off. Keep going all the way around the lines. Don't worry about tearing this because it will not tear. This foil is pretty strong. You can also use your paintbrush to the side like that if it hurts your fingers. Now it doesn't look like anything now, as you can see, but when you take it off you'll notice that it actually turns out very pretty. What you could also use if you don't want to use the end of your paintbrush is just the end of a bottle like that, and that'll also do the work for you. But I find the back end of a paintbrush works perfectly well. And it does a nice indent for you as well. Let me just... So for the sake of time, I've just carried on and finished this little project off for you so that you can see what it looks like when I take it off. Once you're happy that you've indented everything nicely, then just open up your card. And you have two sides. You have the indented side and you have the raised side. Now, in a minute I'll show you what to actually do with this, but I'm going to go through to the other way of doing embossing, which is probably easier for you when you're at home because you will not necessarily have little cards like I do. Okay, so What you want to do is just take a photocopy of a picture. I've just taken an easy picture of a sun. And once again, you just cut your little piece of copper. Measure it approximate. I'm not going to get the whole picture in, but I'll get a basic idea. Put your foil underneath. Make sure you have a couple of pieces of felting underneath and maybe a little bit of caulking, because you're going to be pressing quite hard onto this to get your indentation. You must make sure that you have a soft surface to do that. Measure the approximate area where you would like to put your picture. Put it down. Make sure you're in the right area so that you're not incorrectly laying it out. Okay, and then once again, just take the back end of either a pencil, sorry, the front end of a pencil, which has got no nib to it. It must have no pencil. So it mustn't have any lead coming out. You just want a pencil like that. You don't use the back end, you use the front end of it. Or as I said, you can use the back end of a paintbrush. And all you do is you just go around the edges. Now you notice that it's actually indenting where I want it, because I'm pushing nice and hard. Don't push so hard that you go through your paper. You don't want that to happen. But you want to get a nice round smooth face of a sun, and then just do the face as well. So once you've actually traced out the areas that you want, this is what you're going to come up with. Now you notice I left the one eye like that specifically so that you can get an idea of what it would look like without your impression that you want. Or if you wanted to, you could just leave it like that and make it look like you're winking. The sun is winking at you. Alright, so once you've got your basic concept here, go over your lines again and make sure that you've got it nice and deep all the way around. Okay, and finish it off nicely, as I said, all the way through to make sure that all of your lines are smooth. Once you've done that, turn your picture over and you'll notice that the indentation is now on the outside. So what you want to do is, where that is raised, you want to now push that in and just use your little back end of your paintbrush to push that in. And you'll notice that what's happening is you're getting an indentation on the other side. See that? Okay, and you can do the same with the face. You can push the little face in and get an indentation there as well. You notice it's slowly starting to come up. So you won't indent everything. You'll do some on the one side and some on the other side to make sure that it's nicely finished off. Now with the lips, obviously you want the lips to be nice and thick, so you'd indent that as well, and then finish it off on the outside again. Make sure that it's nicely finished. So just to jump forward, once you've done all of this for time's sake, this is what you're going to get when you're finished. You're going to get something like this. So you notice that I have raised some of the areas like the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, the lips. I have indented the one lip and raised the other one, and the little beard that he's got, I've raised that one as well. So once you've got that and you're happy, now you need to decide what you want to do with this. In this particular case, I've decided I want to make a picture. So I'm going to take one of my other little items over here, and I've decided I like the clown, and you can use a nice little picture frame. I don't have a picture frame, unfortunately, but what I've done is I've just cut out a concept for you so that you can see what it is. Actually, I'm going to use my elephant. And I've decided I want to use the indented side of my elephant. You'll notice that once it's actually down, it's going to look very pretty. Now, you could leave it the copper color, or you could give it a nice little finish with a little bit of black. So the black will pick up some of the indentation of the eyes and so on. And I'll show you how to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just roughly painting a little bit of black over everything. You do not need a lot. Okay, and just put that to one side. And take some paper towel and then just rub off the paint again very gently, because you don't want to spoil your embossing. And you can take as much off or as little off as you like. I like to take quite a bit off, so I just get the basic idea of the black, and it actually highlights the elephant as well. Now you don't have to do the whole outline in black as well. You can just leave it and just have the elephant in black. Okay. And if you want to, you can varnish this, but it's really not necessary because it will not rust or fade or anything like that. Okay, so there's your idea. Or, as I said, if you don't like the copper side, you could always do the raised side with your black as well. And I'll just give you a quick idea of what the raised side will look like if you decided that you would like to paint that as well. And then just take it off with your paper towel. Just take the excess off. And you can paint them in different colors. You don't have to use black. And that'll give you an idea of the elephant stands out more than the background does. Okay, and then get yourself a nice little frame. You can use a frame like this, for instance, that's handmade, and you can just insert that. Or you can just get a ready-made frame and put a little bit of tacky glue all the way around the edge of your picture. Put your frame down and put it in a nice, beautiful frame, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The other alternative is you could always do the raised part or the indented part, whichever you prefer, whichever you like. I like the indented part more than the raised part. It just looks a little bit more organic that way. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project, and look after yourself and keep healthy. Thank you.